subscribe with the Money Jones podcast wherever you get your
Oh, yo, this stuff, yo, I sure do, man. Every dog is here. Let's go.
Face off against the Carolina Hurricanes and Sebastian Aho. ESPN Hockey Night presented by Expedia. Flyers Bruins at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
The Georgia Bulldogs are going to win the national championship.
Blue Jackets Hurricanes at 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus. Thursday.
Yo, I sure do, man. Every dog is here. Let's go.
Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Wake up, fellas. We finally here. Indianapolis. Now we just got to find the stadium.
The Drive is on the road to Indianapolis for the national championship game between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Remember, boys, no points for second place.
The Drive in Indianapolis is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, home of the five-star experience. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate, and Adams. We know great homes. Bob Wallace Appliance, your one-stop shop for appliances, serving you since 1978. Eagle Masonry and Insulation, we'll save you money. And by Chapman Commercial Realty, helping Huntsville grow for 6 generations. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hey, pleasant good Friday evening to you. Welcome into The Drive. Indeed, live from Indianapolis as we are here at the Slippery Noodle Inn in downtown Indianapolis. In fact, we're right across the street, basically, from Lucas Oil Stadium, which will house the championship game coming up on Monday night. I am here. Scott Tyson is here. Wes Neighbors is on his way. So he has yet to arrive in Indy at the moment, but he will be staged right here. We are in the gaming room here at the Slippery Noodle, and we appreciate the fine folks here for their hospitality and housing us here on this Friday. And a big thank you as well to all of our sponsors, as well as you heard that list kicking us off here in Indy. And at least last I checked, well, I can give you a a traffic report. So if you happen to be coming up, I don't know, later on, it is a little dicey getting out of Nashville. But other than that, it was pretty clean sailing through Kentucky as well as into Indiana. It is good to be up here. It's a little chilly, but we are covering yet another national championship game under the tenure of Coach Nick Saban. Coming up on the program, we are about 10 minutes away talking to Tony Barnhart. Mr. College Football is going to join us in 10 minutes' time and get his thought or two on what we are going to see, which right now currently still stands at a 2.5-point edge to the Georgia Bulldogs over the Alabama Crimson Tide. But keep in mind, the Dogs were more than a touchdown favorite in the SEC championship game, and we all know how that worked out for the Dogs in early December there in Atlanta. I am going to put together a pick two. If you'd like to participate in that front as well, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline at 256-576-4977. That is the telephone number to utilize. Schedule-wise, since I am your handy-dandy program director as well, so the way the schedule has shaken out here in Indy is coming up tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock a.m. There will be a virtual media day, beginning with Georgia. N'Kobe Dean, Stetson Bennett, Jordan Davis will be a part of that said media day, virtual media day for the Georgia Bulldogs, and that'll be followed by Alabama with Will Anderson, Jordan Battle, Brian Robinson Jr., and Bryce Young We will have that for you live over the air. But also coming up tomorrow, we have Alabama basketball as they look to grab another road victory like they did earlier in the week on Wednesday at Florida. This time they are at Missouri with pregame starting at 1:30 and the game to follow around 2:30. So there's going to be a little bit of time tomorrow afternoon up here in Indianapolis that we are going to fill for you. And so after Alabama and Missouri are done playing basketball, we will have another show for you with myself, Scott Tyson, Wes Neighbors, hopefully as well. That is also going to be part of our coverage up here in Indianapolis. But the Crimson Tide Sports Network has themselves a football championship show, which goes from 6:30 to 8. It's more or less another version of Hey Coach, like they did before the SEC championship game. They're doing it again tomorrow night. So in between basketball and the Alabama football championship show, which begins at 6:30, we're going to have some expanded coverage for you from Indy. That being said, moving on to Sunday. There is a test at the end of this, by the way. I hope you're keeping notes. Sunday at 8 a.m., there will be a virtual coaches press conference with both Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, and that will be carried over the airwaves of 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I will anchor it from up here, and that, again, goes from 8 a.m. for probably about a 45-minute, 50-minute press conference event, as that is the last time the coaches will speak before Monday night's championship game. So we'll have the virtual press conferences simultaneous, as both coaches will be going at the same time. Then later on that afternoon, in fact, at noon Central Time, we'll have another show from Indy to wrap up what the players had to say, what the coaches had to say, give you one final opportunity to tell me what you think is going to happen Monday night over across the street from where we're currently located here in downtown Indianapolis. That will lead into coverage of Alabama and Georgia playing women's basketball. So you got Alabama, Georgia playing women's basketball Sunday afternoon pregame to start at 1:50. And so just thought it was an Alabama-Georgia event. And lo and behold, the women's teams are playing each other on Sunday. Why not throw it on the air? So that's exactly what we're doing on Sunday. And then Monday morning, we'll have Talkin' Ball live here from Indianapolis with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. The drive on Monday will be 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, not 5 to 7, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, because the Crimson Tide Sports Network takes over at 4 o'clock, and that will lead you up to game time. Obviously, no Hey Coach on Monday, as that has been deleted on that event calendar due to the Crimson Tide being in the national championship game. And that all leads into Tuesday, which is another huge event. And it's hard to wrap your head around how big of an event this is, because we're here in Indianapolis right now, and a huge event that's going to take place in Tuscaloosa on Tuesday. You heard about the breakdown this morning on Talkin' Ball with Brian Passink from the Crimson Tide Sports Network, as Auburn travels to Alabama on Tuesday. So a lot of really just interesting storylines, and I think really good events from right here, right now in Indianapolis here this afternoon, leading into this weekend, as well as Monday's national championship game. And, oh, by the way, Tuesday, it's the Tide and Tigers, and that should be a top 10 battle, and it should be a whole lot of fun to watch as well. 256-576-4977 is the number to be a part of the program. In fact, predictions all over the place. Now, I gave Georgia about a 50-50 shot in the SEC championship game. Now, I picked Georgia to win by 2, obviously very wrong. Now, this time around, I'm sticking to my guns, and I am believing that the Crimson Tide have the best player in college football in their sophomore quarterback there in Bryce Young, and I just don't see how the Crimson Tide are going to lose to Georgia on Monday night. So that is my 2 cents out there. You can certainly call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. I am not the only one with a pick of the national championship game. So did Charles Barkley last night on the NBA on TNT.
It's that time. The Georgia Bulldogs are going to win the national championship.
Oh, yo, that stuff, yo, y'all gotta go. I should go, man. Hey, Harry Dog is here. University of Georgia mascot.
So that was a very loud Charles Barkley picking the Georgia Bulldogs, guaranteeing a victory for the Georgia Bulldogs Monday night over the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, is set to join us on the other side of our first time out. Let's take it right now, Chad Guatney. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hometown Lenders was founded right here in North Alabama on old school principles. We like to call them the 4 Ps. The best products, the best processes, competitive pricing, and of course, the best people. It's why we're one of America's fastest growing mortgage lenders. We're now adding a 5th P, the hometown promise. If we don't close on time, you don't pay a dime. Yes, you heard that right. On time, every time, or we refund 100% of our fees.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love.
Hey, Chad.
Locations in Huntsville,
What's up?
And Decatur, and on the
so
web
that bump music that I'm talking about, if you know what I'm talking about, if you could find the clean one, the one that doesn't have any just the clean one. If I need to reload it and plug it in, you know what? I think I may just do that myself. You know what? I'm just going to do that later on tonight.
Exactly the way you want.
So never mind. I'll do it later on tonight, and I'm going to use the Talking Ball Saturday clock, but I'm going to reload a couple of things in it before I reload tomorrow's clock. Or have you already manipulated tomorrow?
I haven't touched tomorrow at all.
Okay. All right, then I'll do that tonight, okay?
Okay, no problem. I'll have it in, but I'll be here tomorrow to kind of look at it because I need to make sure that all those I'll look at tomorrow from 8 to 9. I want to make sure that at least all those commercials are in and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you have Tony Barnhart's?
yeah, I got his number.
Thank you.
We just got long breaks, long breaks. So
No worries.
yeah, tomorrow or Monday is fabulous. We have green from like 1 o'clock in the morning till like midnight, pretty much.
Awesome.
We're chock full on Monday.
Before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and
Smokey Mike will be here in about 10 minutes.
How's the dog?
Services precision overhead garage doors.
I guess he's all right. It seems like he's still got to kind of pass it, but they got to make sure. It seems like if they passed it, looks like he's going to be on his way over here.
For families and business owners, Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating. So you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does. And they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. From first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money. And lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here with you on this Friday edition of The Drive. We are broadcasting live from the Slippery Noodle Inn in downtown Indianapolis. In fact, we're right across the street, basically, from Lucas Oil, getting ready for the championship event that comes up on Monday night. Wes Neighbors is on his way. Scott Tyson hanging out with me here at the Slippery Noodle Inn as we head out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and talk with Mr. College Football. He is Tony Barnhart, who was kind enough to join us. How are you, sir?
Steve, I'm doing well. I hope to be joining you tomorrow in Indy.
Well, I hope I hope you have safe flight plans and not on the road, because it was quite an adventure to get out of Nashville. I'll say that.
So I've heard. I talked to a friend of mine in Nashville last night. He told me what an absolute mess it was. And yes, luckily I am flying. So yes, I appreciate that.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. And I finally culminate here to this point. And at least if we head back to July, it was if not this year for Georgia, when? And it's kind of culminated with that storyline. So how do you feel like Georgia's chances are on Monday?
Well, I think Georgia has a definite chance to win this game now, based on what we saw in the SEC championship game. If that Alabama team shows up, if Bryce Young shows up, I don't see a way for Georgia to win. But my experience, and all of us who've done this a long time, have seen when two teams play each other within a very short period, you don't get the same game. So I think Georgia has a real shot at this game.
So defensively, what do you think we're going to see differently? Is this more of Will Muschamp's fingerprints, you think, on this defense now that Lanning is there, but still there to call the plays, but he's certainly his focus is elsewhere out there in Eugene?
Well, regardless of who's calling the plays on defense, the objective is to be able to get some pressure on the Alabama quarterback. They got none. They got no sacks in the game at the SEC championship game. And if he has all the time he wants to move around and find the receiver he wants, it's really not going to matter for Georgia. But my sense is Georgia's going to do some things, and you don't have to sack him. But what you do have to do is make him throw the ball before he's ready to throw the ball. And if you can do that, you got a chance. And I think Georgia's defense will play better in this game.
How surprising was to see how efficiently Georgia played against Michigan?
Well, I was there. It was very impressive. Very impressive. They looked like a football team that had its wake up call and had something to prove. And they scored. They scored on each of their first 5 possessions. Stetson Bennett easily had his best half of football since he's been at Georgia, and so I was very impressed. Now, after the game, the people that were with me there talking about how impressive they were. I said, "Yeah, but that's Michigan. That ain't Alabama." And they said, "Yeah, you're right." So we'll, if Georgia can give that kind of effort, then it's going to be probably a pretty good football game.
Yeah, the only thing that at least I put the pause button. Is it fair to say that the best player on the field Monday night is the Heisman Trophy winner?
Oh, yeah.
I know that's kind of a duh statement, but I just,
No, I know exactly what you mean. And Alabama's got some real difference makers on that team. But I was so impressed with Bryce Young, just his ability to be so accurate even when he's on the move. Very, very impressive football player.
No doubt. And so that does make me wonder, what hasn't he seen in terms of pressures? Because we saw Texas A&M employ some different kinds of pressures, and that certainly did affect a little bit of Bryce. And we saw LSU try to mimic that a little bit, and we saw quite a bit from what Auburn did in the Iron Bowl. But it seems like he has elevated his game big time.
Well, there's a reason that Auburn sacked Alabama 7 times and Georgia could have none. And Georgia's coaching staff, it's their job to figure out what that is. If they can replicate any of that pressure, then they've got a chance against Alabama. But again, I will stick to this narrative because I believe it to be true. If Georgia cannot get any pressure on Bryce Young, then it is going to be a long night.
It really is. Talking with Mr. College Football Tony Barnhart right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. So, yeah, you mentioned Georgia definitely having a legitimate shot, and there's no doubt what kind of defense that they bring to the table. And it's been fun to follow this defense from afar, Tony. And my favorite player is Nakobe Dean. Of what kind of high energy level player he is, and as much as we focus on the Will Andersons of the world in the state of Alabama, Nakobe Dean, tell the folks a little bit more about what you've seen out of Mr. Dean.
Nakobe Dean, native of the great state of Mississippi. I was covering Georgia for National Signing Day for the SEC Network, so I was there with the camera crew, and Georgia was putting the finishing touches on yet another great recruiting class. But N'Kobe Dean had not signed. And there were some others, he was in it with a lot of different schools. And I remember talking to one of the staff members at Georgia. I said, "What about N'Kobe Dean?" He said, "I don't know. I don't think we're going to get him." And so I hung around about 15 more minutes. And guess what? Georgia got him. And boy, are they glad they did. He is an absolute disruptor. I mean, he disrupts, and you got to account for him everywhere on the field because he can chase down running back, get you off the edge. He is just an absolute disruption.
The other big storyline that I cannot help to have followed this year is everything that left the Crimson Tide last year and what was a magical year, a different year, but all the draft picks, as well as, oh, by the way, the offensive coordinator as well, who went to Texas. It really is that this season has been different because of how young this Crimson Tide football team is, and they were able to put it together at the right time, Tony.
Yes, and that's why I think this has been Nick Saban's best coaching job since he's been at the University of Alabama. I mean, to lose that much talent, and that was one of the all-time great teams in terms of their dominance, that 2020 team. But to lose that much talent, a first-round draft pick at quarterback, a first-round draft pick at running back, a Heisman Trophy winner at wide receiver, the Joe Moore Award best offensive line, on and on and on, to lose that much talent and to navigate your team through. This is not an easy year for Alabama. There were a lot of close games. LSU, Arkansas, Auburn. Obviously, the only loss is on the road at Texas A&M. And I just think for Nick Saban to sort of guide this team through the waters and to get back into this position, it's got to be the best coach in my mind. It's the best coaching job he's done since he's been at Alabama.
Wow, that's a big statement considering the fact that we just hit that 15-year mark anniversary of him taking over the position on the capstone, Tony. So it's if you think about all the teams, in fact, the early narrative from 09 and 11 and the previous run was the fact that he was doing this without elite level quarterbacks, and that is now no longer the case there, Tony.
Well, the reason that Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time is that the great ones like Coach Bryant and others adjusted when they had to adjust. When they faced it, they got to a crossroad where they had to adjust, they did. And his decision to bring in Lane Kiffin and open up the offense was something he didn't want to do, but he knew it was something he had to do because the game was changing and there was nothing that he could do about it. So he said, okay, fine. If that's the way you want to play, then I'm going to go out and recruit the best quarterbacks and wide receivers in all of college football and put them in a system that will make them shine. And that's exactly what has happened.
There was a few people telling me that they thought Georgia's game plan in the SEC championship game was a little more vanilla than usual, thinking in the back of their mind that there could be a rematch. Is there any validity to that, you think, Tony?
I don't know about vanilla, but I spoke to people that said that Georgia tried some things against Alabama they had not previously tried before. So, and whatever it was they tried, it didn't work.
Obviously.
I don't know specifically, but it didn't. It did not work. So don't do that. Don't not to do that. So, I heard that they did some uncharacteristic things. I thought Jameis Williams running 90 yards and touchdown the field, it seemed that way, was uncharacteristic of that Georgia defense. There's some absolutely mistakes made in that game, and to Alabama's credit, they took advantage of it.
Well, if there was maybe a kid or two that we were not talking about in July at SEC Media Days, Brock Bowers was targeted 16 times in that SEC championship game, caught 10, and ended up with one touchdown and 139 yards total receiving. So you tell me, are we going to see more than 16 targets, you think, Monday night from Mr. Brock Bowers?
Well, here's the thing. He had an incredible SEC championship game, but honestly, if you're targeting one guy that much, it's probably not good. Probably not good. You are most effective when you're spreading the ball around. But I tell you, I've seen a lot of great tight ends come through this conference and come through the University of Georgia. This guy is one of the most physically gifted I have ever seen. That run he made, I think it was against Georgia Tech, where he caught it about 10 yards out and simply outran everybody on the field. Amazing. He is an incredible weapon.
How healthy is George Pickens?
George Pickens, as I understand it, is healthy enough to play significant snaps in this game. Is he 100%? No, he's not 100%. He had a very serious knee injury back in the spring. But he is healthy enough to make a difference in the game. Georgia has to find a way, and Alabama's going to try to do the same thing, to run the ball, set up the play-action pass, and to take the top off the defense with Pickens. Georgia's going to have, just like Alabama had a number of explosive plays in the passing game against Georgia the first time, Georgia's going to do it this time if they're going to have a chance to win. So Pickens could be a factor in this game, but he's not 100%.
Another Bulldog that has been talked quite a bit about is JT Daniels. Obviously did not play in the SEC championship game, and now is there any speculation that we'll see him Monday?
I've heard none. He is. Listen, Stetson Bennett has played remarkable football. His teammates love him. His coaches just think the world of him. I mean, and here's a guy who completed, I think, 16 of 22 passes in the first half against Michigan. Georgia scored on its first 5 possessions. He was the offensive MVP of the Orange Bowl. The guy just simply does everything you want a quarterback to do. Now, here's the caveat to that story that I just told you. If he has to throw the ball too much, which he did, he had 340 yards passing against Alabama, and honestly, that's too much. That's too much to win the football game. He has also, in the last 2 games with Alabama, thrown 5 interceptions. That's the caveat to everything I just said.
Well, the reason I'm bringing up a quote-unquote backup quarterback is how big that storyline has been through these games the last handful of times. Hence the 2nd and 26 with the backup quarterback in Tua, and the SEC championship game previous to this year with Jalen Hurts coming in. And it's an interesting dichotomy, I'll say, Tony, of what potentially can unfold coming up on Monday.
Well, what a story that would be after watching those 2 games you just mentioned. But the thing about it is, I don't think we see JT Daniels unless Stetson Bennett is clearly struggling and has made way too many mistakes. I think he is the guy, and you know, when they didn't use JT Daniels in the SEC championship game, it told us something. I'm not sure what it told us, but it told us something.
Yeah. Maybe you tell me what storyline or maybe something that you're looking at that you're most intrigued about Monday night, Tony.
Well, I think there's a couple 3. I think from the Alabama side, the fact that Nick Saban has a chance to win his 7th national championship at Alabama to surpass Coach Bryant's 6th at Alabama. I think that is a historical note that we should all pay attention to. Unprecedented 8 national championships. I think Stetson Bennett is. If Stetson Bennett could do it, you're talking about a guy from South Georgia who wasn't good enough to get a scholarship at the University of Georgia, but walked on anyway because his parents went there. When it became clear after his freshman year that he wasn't going to play much, he goes to a junior college, wins 10 games, and comes back to Georgia because Georgia needed depth at quarterback, and Kirby Smart offered him a scholarship. And he has been a player that people say, well, this guy's just not good enough to win a national championship. So it turns out that he is, and he does it. To me, that's a tremendous story. And the other thing I'm looking at is, you know, Kirby Smart has that label that nobody wants as the best coach to never win a national championship. And the fact that he has done it, but only to have Georgia's heart broken by Alabama. If Kirby Smart could break through Monday night, to me, that's a great story.
There is a bit of breaking news to pass along. ESPN just now reporting that the Jacksonville Jaguars are interviewing Byron Leftwich and Bill O'Brien for the vacancy there in Jacksonville. Thoughts on that there, Tony? With because that is a tie-in with certainly we've already heard from Bill O'Brien about the focus being the focus this week, and I have no doubt that he is keeping his focus on this, but it is at least a storyline heading into tonight.
Well, I've known Bill O'Brien since he's been assistant at Georgia O'Leary at Georgia Tech. He's a really, really good football coach, and I think Jacksonville will be lucky to get him. How that impacts this game, I don't think it does. I really don't. These guys are professionals, and we are closing in. You know, if this was happening in early December and there was still a month to go before you played for the national championship, that would be one thing. But this close, as the old coach used to say, the hay's in the barn.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tony, thank you so much for hopping on with us. Safe travels. I will tell you, it is rather chilly up here, so pack that cold weather gear from down there in Atlanta, sir.
I've got my LL Bean, the milk of the North Coast that I am bringing, which I bring out for these special occasions. So.
Very good. Very good. Tony, always appreciate your time, sir.
All right, Steve. Be good.
Look forward to seeing you on Monday. That is Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, joining us as we are in Indianapolis, as we are broadcasting live from the Slippery Noodle Inn. Got a chance to squeeze in some phone calls on the other side. Tell me what you think, what we're going to see coming on here at Monday over across the street at Lucas Oil Stadium at 256-576-4977. That is the number to be a part of the program. Let's go ahead and take our final time out, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well-trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Valley Equipment Rental. Pretty self-explanatory name, no? Tom Abraham here. And look, Valley Equipment Rental is all over the Tennessee Valley, and they rent equipment, all kinds of equipment, and not just to the contractors out there, but to you, the general public as well. Need a skid steer or an excavator? Well, they've got over 40 units to make sure they've got one for you. From huge boom lifts to miscellaneous hand tools, it's at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Parkway. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. More on that to come.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee. Someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players in the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
For 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers, and we invest in supporting them. We use our own technology to automate to provide you the best support possible. And we have the strongest guarantees in the industry. I just can't tell you I'm going to provide you great support. I have to prove it to you with my actions.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday night, expect a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures falling into the lower 20s for the overnight. We could also see gusty winds as high as 20 miles per hour. For your Saturday, expect plenty of sunshine. High temperatures topping out in the lower 50s for the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They took it to 10.
Back here with you in Indianapolis. Day one of our coverage of the rematch. That is number 1 Alabama taking on number 3 Georgia. The rematch is indeed underway, coming up on Monday, as Alabama a winner back on December the 4th, a little over a month ago, 41-24 was that final score. Coming up at the top of the hour, as I'm alerting Smokey Mike, Rashad Johnson is going to join us from the Crimson Tide Sports Network, as he will be part of the coverage, incidentally, tomorrow on the football championship show that you will hear tomorrow evening beginning at 6:30. We will have a show for you originating tomorrow afternoon in between Alabama, Missouri basketball, and then Alabama football preview show beginning at 6:30. We'll have some coverage for you as both media days are set for tomorrow morning for both Georgia and Alabama. The Crimson Tide have indeed landed. They drove right in behind us. Actually, they landed. They took in the flight. They didn't have near the experience that Scott Tyson and I had driving through the Music City. That is Nashville, Tennessee, otherwise known as the Joe Hunk Highway. 256-576-4977. Still waiting on the big man, but he should be here momentarily here in Indianapolis at the Slippery Noodle Inn. Bama Bino has called in. What do you say, Bama Bino? How are you, sir?
I am wonderful, Steve, and I hope you guys are.
Doing very well. A little chilly up here, but other than that, well, it's chilly outside. It's not chilly in here.
It got down to 18 at my house last night.
Woo! Well, when we left this morning from Huntsville, it was 19 degrees. And when we showed up here, at least according to the vehicle, it was 19 degrees. So
yeah,
I'm good with no temperature change.
I just was wanting to tell you, I just want to have some extended coverage lined up, and I'm just so appreciative y'all have such a great staff, from the switchboard guys all the way to the guys on the air. Y'all have a quality class act.
I appreciate you saying that.
I just tell you, we're lucky that Wes is doing better there and got such great people in Huntsville. And I'm glad the tower's where it is, because I doubt I could pick you up on the north end of the same mountain from Huntsville. But with it being a Union Grove, we get good coverage up here. And I wanted to also say something about Tony Barnhart. He's a class act too, buddy.
He is. He is.
Very knowledgeable. And I'm going to stick with my local tradition lately. I'm not going to crow, because you didn't hear me crowing last time. I was conservative. I'm just going to say it's going to be a good game, because if I predict something, it's going to jinx them. But I know your dogs have a great team too, and I just wish you one of us, right? Because I kind of feel sorry for you in a way.
You don't have to feel sorry for me, man. You really don't. You really don't.
You have to listen to all some of us good old boys,
Well, if anything, it is awfully impressive to follow the storylines and the story itself that is Alabama football over the past 15 years. It is nothing short of remarkable to think about what Nick Saban inherited, how he inherited it, and how he put his fingerprints immediately on the system. Remember, it was just 2 years into it that they were playing for an SEC championship game, then won a national championship the following year, and it has been an unbelievable run for Nick Saban.
I don't think people realize how much Mal Moore really, really camped out, and his wife camped out, and they sold Miss Terry. It's one of the way I understood it, because she's the boss.
That is correct.
And,
she'll tell you that too.
I just think Mal Moore has a lot of legacy that's still living, other than what he's done as a player and as an athletic director and quarterback coach. He just keeps living, and I hope that he can hear me say this, Mal Moore, thanks, because I tell you what. It's a dream. I never thought I'd say this, but Nick Saban's the GOAT. I hate to say it. But of course, Bear Bryant laid the Keystone Foundation and got it to where, as you were telling me one time when I caught this, you're talking about the ones that are spoiled. I know you were hinting at me that time. You was talking about what Saban was ranting about. That was about 3 weeks ago. But
I remember.
He got us spoiled. I guess any game that I've ever saw them play that they weren't in it, I've never had a problem with it. But most games they're in it. One game with Clemson, we wasn't in it. But other than that, we've usually been close. But my main thing tonight is I'm going to be listening on y'all's extended coverage, and I hope you and your family have just a safe, wonderful, happy time. And I really thank a lot of you guys. And tell Wes and Scott that I called, and I wish y'all well.
Thank you, Bama Bino. Appreciate that. Drew DeArmond will indeed be up in Indianapolis, but right now, Drew getting ready for the rivalry that is Huntsville and Grissom, as that game going on tonight over in the gymnasium, I believe, at Huntsville High School. If you want to check out some TV coverage of said event. That is on ETV tonight. You might hear a familiar voice is Austin Coletti, who aired Huntsville High football for us this year. And
Tennessee.
Hard to get better than that.
I don't ask for much. I don't get anybody anything. So if I get something, that's just a bonus.
Well, if you want to give someone some Christmas gifts, how about feel free to swing on by the studio. Oh, you know what? Actually, we've got a new studio. So if you are ever going to come by the studio, you need to give me a holler. And I know Chad Guathney would all gifts. Wes Neighbors, I'm sure he wouldn't decline any gifts as well. Heck, even Scott Tyson, I bet he would enjoy a gift or two. I'm halfway teasing with you.
Hey, Scott, how y'all doing?
They're doing well. They're doing well.
You just have to walk up them steps to get into the studio. Do you still have to do that?
You sure do. Yep. In fact, instead of the second floor, we're on the third floor of our new building. And but Wes calls it the upper basement. We've got an elevator to get you to the second level. Come on now. I've met you, Rat Cephas. You can handle some steps. If my fat behind can climb up those steps, certainly you can.
My hair just changed from gray to white, but I still that's the thing.
Well, I appreciate hearing from you, Rat Cephas. Who do you think's going to win Monday, Alabama or Georgia?
I've got to go with Alabama.
It is hard to
by about 1 point.
By 1 point. So the odds makers currently have Georgia a 2.5 point spread. So you would lay some coinage on Bama.
If I had $100 to bet,
fair enough.
I'd put it on the Tide.
There you go. There spoketh from Rat Cephas. Don't be a stranger in 2022, and it's always great to hear from you, sir.
Hey, good to hear from you. And you guys have a good time up there in Indianapolis.
Appreciate that. Stay safe there on the breezeway and mind the fort for me, please. 256-576-4977. Rashad Johnson is going to join us in about 10 minutes' time, but we've certainly got time to take your phone calls. Wes Neighbors on his way. If he is not like in the vicinity, he is really close to joining us here at the Slippery Noodle Inn in downtown Indianapolis. Dan in Madison, you're up next. What do you say, Dan?
How are you, my friend?
Good, good. How are you?
Hey, I'm blessed. Hey, by the way, Indianapolis, there's a White Castle. There's White Castles up there. You got to go to the White Castle.
My favorite dealing with White Castle deals in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, with a White Castle right next to a Crystal. And that, to me, has always just been – I understand what you're saying, Dan, but the fact that a White Castle's next to a Crystal, I've always gotten a kick out of that.
Well, the White Castle, I think, in Nashville or in Murfreesboro, at one time had a Church's Chicken inside of it as well.
Ooh. That
kind of a weird thing.
That might ramp it up to another level if they use the same grease pits.
Tongues on silvers now.
and thus we end up with Church's Chicken, right?
There you go. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Give me the crispy.
Yeah. Spicy or non-mild. Anyway, I am wearing the headset, so I'm not. Well, I'm almost on the crew for the drive-through. What do you think about the matchup, Dan?
Well, I think Georgia's going to win. Actually,
what makes you say that?
I just think that Georgia is due for a win, right? So you can't beat a team so many times. And I just think, and I don't know why, because I normally pick Bama, but something tells me in my gut to pick Georgia. And I know that Rasty missed it by 1 point. And if he ever wants to go to your studio, let me know. I'll be there. I'll throw the fishing line with a blast, and we can go up the stairs together, and we can go up there and find it.
I will keep that in mind. I will definitely keep that in mind.
But I do think Georgia's going to win. I think Stetson Bennett's going to have a better game, actually.
Do you really?
I'm not saying a better game than Bryce Young, but I think they'll do enough to win. I think it'll be closer than what everybody thinks. And then if you watch the line, right, the line moved up now is 3 Georgia because all the sharp money went on Georgia today. So that's my opinion. So
we shall see. But we've got a full weekend in front of us. We're on 2 to 4 on Monday, Dan. So feel free to give us a call back on Monday, and we'll reassess what you're thinking.
So if Georgia wins, does Wes have to wear a Georgia hat?
You know, we might have to come up with something like this. That is a good weekend conversation that we will have here in Indy about Wes and I, because we did not do any kind of side bet for the SEC championship game. We didn't do it in 2018 either, so that might be worth a conversation.
Well, we appreciate your show. We love you guys. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Dan. Hank is on line 2. He's going to close us out before we make room for Rashad Johnson from the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Hey, Steve. I'm not sure if Wes is on. I wanted to get y'all's take on the upcoming game. I was watching Georgia.
I'm listening to you, Hank. You were listening?
Oh, well, I thought I was cut off.
No.
Anyway, I was watching how Georgia scored against Michigan, and it just seemed like Michigan's DBs weren't even in the game, and they just kind of threw over the top every time. And I'm wondering how that, if that's going to be the same way with Alabama. I think Alabama might be able to fit better.
We'll talk more about that in hour number 2 as Hank, that's a good call, a good question. And we'll talk more about that in hour number 2 as we're live here at the Slippery Noodle Inn in downtown Indianapolis. Rashad Johnson is going to join us next. Wes Neighbors is in the house here in the game room.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find ChapmanCommercialRealty.com. Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubbies Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-free meals featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubbies Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
On ESPN Radio, WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
How you doing, brother?
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Steve Lennox, NBA doubleheader on ESPN television tonight. Tipping in a
Smoky
little over
Mike,
30
you good?
in Brooklyn, the Bucks and Nets. Nets right now, number 2 in the East, but just 10-9 on their home floor in Brooklyn so far this season. Kyrie Irving made his season debut for the Nets on Wednesday, not playing tonight in the Nets home game. Game 2 later tonight. Lakers, who have won 3 in a row, look to extend that win streak at home in Los Angeles against the Atlanta Hawks. Mavericks have won 4 in a row, look to extend that win streak on the road in Houston against the Rockets tonight. Mavs head coach Jason Kidd has entered the NBA's health and safety protocols after testing positive for COVID-19. Sue Bird made the announcement today. She will return for a 19th WNBA season, and she'll play this year once again with the Seattle Storm. Green Bay Packers wrap up the NFL regular season at Detroit on Sunday. Aaron Rodgers is going to start at quarterback, even with the Packers having wrapped up the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs last weekend. ESPN analyst Harry Douglas shared his thoughts on Rodgers and his season earlier with Barton Hahn.
And now he's the lead candidate for MVP. He's my candidate. That's who I would pick if I had a vote. And he's going out there playing this weekend. It doesn't even have to. But I think that just says a lot about his character when you talk about football as a teammate and just wanting to be out there with his guys, no matter that they already had the number 1 seed locked up, and it's against Detroit. So I like Aaron Rodgers as the MVP winner.
Seahawks linebacker Bobby Wagner will not play Sunday in the team's finale against the Arizona Cardinals. Wagner dealing with a knee sprain. Buccaneers offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich will interview for the Jaguars head coaching job. That according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
AB was so mad and money hungry and want this money and all this sort of stuff. I don't buy it because it's easy to get. He can get that in 1 quarter.
More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max Monday morning on ESPN Radio.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Wake up, fellas. We finally here. Indianapolis. Now we just got to find the stadium.
The Drive is on the road to Indianapolis for the national championship game between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Remember, boys, no points for second place.
The Drive in Indianapolis is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, home of the 5-star experience. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate, and Adams. We know great homes. Bob Wallace Appliance, your one-stop shop for appliances, serving you since 1978. Eagle Masonry and Insulation, we'll save you money. And by Chapman Commercial Realty, helping Huntsville grow for 6 generations. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
See, I almost cut off myself right there, and I made the darn intro. Back here in Indianapolis as we are broadcasting here today live from the Slippery Noodle Inn. How are you, Wes Neighbors?
I'm doing good. Doing real good. They're setting up for the big party outside tomorrow.
Yes, they are. We are right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium, where currently, right now, the Georgia Bulldogs have now bumped up to a 3-point favorite.
There's been 3 points for 2 days. Yeah.
Started out at 2.5,
Yeah.
so it really has not moved all that much. Rashad Johnson is kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You will hear Rashad tomorrow evening on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. It's basically a bonus Hey Coach, if you will, beginning tomorrow night at 6:30 Central Time. How are you, Rashad?
Doing well, Steve. Wes, how about you guys?
So far, so good. We're bundling up, but, you know, it is what it is up here in Indianapolis. But
oh man, who picked that location?
You know, I was thinking about that. Didn't they kind of sneak this in last year during COVID?
They had to, man. Like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll just go anywhere as long as you give us football. Like,
Yeah.
Indy.
I mean, you know, it's a nice town. It's just cold and not the place you want to be. I mean,
yeah, this time a year ago we were in Miami.
Exactly.
I mean,
I was thinking that all the way up here. I was dodging semis that were laid sideways. I mean, they were everywhere. It's like somebody dropped them out of the sky.
No doubt, man. Definitely would like a little warmer climate to enjoy the city.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
But the Slippery Noodles is really cool. It's the oldest bar in
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana.
Okay.
Anyway,
Slippery Noodle. I'm gonna have to check that out as soon as I get in tomorrow. Well, after the radio show.
Of course, of course. But a lot to get ready for on Monday night. What intrigues you most about this rematch? It's something you see quite a bit on the NFL stage, but we don't see nearly quite a bit enough on the college ranks. So what intrigues you about Monday night, Rashad?
I think, you know, just the opportunity for a rematch. You know, the best two teams in the country get an opportunity to go at it again. I think everybody has kind of thought that Georgia was the best team in the country, and throughout the year, thought Alabama was second until the Texas A&M loss. So I think, you know, what intrigues me the most is just seeing how each team responds. You know, it's a clean slate. SEC championship really doesn't matter. Everybody's 0-0 with this record. So I'm interested to see how the guns come blazing out of the gates and who can sustain it, man. So it's going to be a juggernaut matchup, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, you look at the quarterback, and listen, Stetson Bennett played well, even though half the fan base in Georgia thinks the other guy should be playing for whatever reason. But he's definitely not the best quarterback in this game. So you look at who's the best quarterback, and it's Alabama, no question. So usually when you're looking at a game, best quarterback, best defense. Does Georgia have a better defense than Alabama right now?
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough to say that right now, especially, like you said, the way that our Alabama defense has been playing here late in the season. Holding Georgia to 24. Last week, Cincinnati with a high-powered offense. A lot of receivers, you know, that had over, 10-plus yards per reception. Did a great job in that matchup, holding them to 6 points in the game. I think, our defense is jailed. And, Pete Golding, early in the season, a lot of people were saying a lot of different things on social media and different places there about his job security. I think he's done a great job of showing, that it takes time for a unit to gel. And one thing you don't want your unit to do is peak too early. When you get to the plateau too early, at that point, it's only downhill from there. So I think these guys have done a great job of getting better week in and week out. That LSU game, some big fourth down stops in that game to hold off to get us a victory. So I think, we have a great defense, have a great pass rush. I think where we separate ourselves defensively is in the secondary. We have some guys that can cover, and we have, a tremendous safety in Jordan Battle, who's a game changer, in my opinion, that can make plays on the ball, but also does a great job blitzing the quarterback.
And you say that, but we had a lot of injuries. We have a freshman starting on one side now and a junior college guy on the other. This will be his second start. How do you feel about those guys? How are they developing? I mean, it seemed like Kool-Aid the first game got a couple of interference penalties, and that's really the way Georgia moved the ball a lot of the time. I think we had, 5 interference penalties in that game?
Yeah.
Not to say they weren't interference. I'm not trying to say that. It's just that's something they got to clean up.
Totally. I definitely think, Georgia would try to exploit, some of those matchups with the young players. I was impressed with the Kyrie Jackson kid and his opportunity to play, the previous week in Cincinnati. Seemed like he knew what was going on, didn't bust any coverages. And that's a big deal, for a young guy to step in in a playoff game. It isn't like we put him in, against Monroe or some other team.
Yeah,
This is a prime stage. He did a really good job, of communicating, being in the right position, showed some physicality in his matchup and tackling. But ultimately, like you said, coverage one-on-one. There was a few times early in that game that Kool-Aid was beat, and we, did a great job of deflecting the ball at the line of scrimmage. So I definitely think, these guys, or Kool-Aid himself, is probably going to get some targets based on the last game and then based on the Georgia game as well. But, I think as a coordinator, you go into the game understanding that. You can roll your safety over the top, play some different things. So he's not feeling like he's on that island all the time, especially, if you can get your guys up front to stop the run.
One of the things that I've been most impressed with is, and I was very critical for maybe the first 8 games, is I thought our inside linebackers were not playing very physical. They just didn't, in my opinion, play very well. I don't know if they're hurt. That could be part of it. But they're the most improved guys where I think both of them probably get drafted now the way they're playing high. They've taken it to a new level, especially Christian Harris. And him rushing the passer has been amazing.
Yeah. There's been some, different wrinkles that they've thrown in there and giving him an opportunity to use his athleticism and rushing the passer and things of that nature. And I think, like you said, it was a little passive early on. And I think, that's when you have a great coordinator, Pete and Coach Stevens sitting down in the meetings and saying, okay, our guys are a little, on their heels. We're not getting them to go downhill like you were saying, Wes. So now, you know what? Let's just go ahead and trigger him. Let's blitz him. Let's not make him think. Let's let him use his athletic talent. What we've seen him do on film is attack the ball, and now let's get him in motion. Once he gets in motion, now he's done thinking. He's playing ball now. So I think that's been a great adjustment, is getting both of those guys moving pre-snap in different blitz patterns and opportunities to get them going. So they're not sitting, waiting, and trying to read, all this cross motion, faking it to the running back, throwing it down the field. Like, that's a lot of things going on in front of you if you're a linebacker. So I can see how it can cause some hesitation if you're not exactly sure, what your job is and what's going on. And with, Henry To'oTo'o being new in the lineup, that could have been an issue as well. But I think the adjustments they made, like you said, blitzing Christian Harris and getting them going, ultimately, counteracted them being as passive as they were early on and playing tremendously. Henry To'oTo'o, over 100 tackles, man. I think it was only like 5 guys that I saw during the Saban era that have done that, and all of them were first rounders.
So you watched Georgia's defense last time Alabama played Georgia, and I get everywhere I go, well, they didn't blitz Alabama they didn't watch the game because Georgia did blitz, and Alabama just picked it up. But they're going to have a different plan, and depending on who's playing, Alabama's banged up on the offensive line also. Who do you think starts in that game? And if you're Georgia, what do you do different?
Yeah, I think, for them, they're going to have to bring more actual pressure. They did blitz, if you watch the film, but some of it was like more of a zone pressure. They were bringing a backer, and then they were dropping, the end man on the line of scrimmage. So they were playing a lot of 3 deep behind it. Ironically, I had an opportunity was looking at some Twitter today, and a guy by the name of Harry Douglas that played wide receiver for the Titans, he tweeted every touchdown that Alabama scored, and I watched them. Georgia only brought 4, which was very interesting to see. They did it different ways. It was simulated pressures, but not actual, bringing 5 or 6 man to actually put some, heat on Bryce. And the times that they did bring it, he did a great job of using his feet to get out of the pocket and ultimately, get that ball down the field. But who's going to be that next guy to step up, man? It's a list of guys there, and I'm just, hoping somebody does, and we can get it done.
So the first touchdown, though, I think was a run blitz because it was 3rd and 2, and they caught. And who messed up on that, though? Have you watched the tape on that? Because
yeah. So it was. So they blew it in the secondary. You're talking about the Jamison Williams touchdown.
First one was 3rd and 2, and Georgia did. I think they had a run blitz on, and everybody kind of stopped in the middle of it, realized it was a pass, and it was way too late.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like you said. It was a run blitz, simulated pressure. They brought the safety and they dropped the backside, the left end on that play. Ultimately, I think the safety busted the coverage. When I watched the film, he's running like he's running to the half and not playing, the middle of the field or the hole that he's supposed to be playing there. and ultimately left, Jamison Williams sitting there. And then at that point, man, once he got the ball in his hands, his speed is a little bit too much. So, a lot of it was Georgia made some mistakes, and then we capitalized on those mistakes, whether it was blown coverage there or, throwing interceptions in the red zone or coming out and, throwing interceptions on a pick six and then not getting the fumble when Bryce, made the play.
Oh, you
So,
got to try to pick it up. I've noticed that if he jumps on the ball, he probably has it. But he was slowing down to pick it up, and Bryce Young made a heck of a play. First of all, the guy from Georgia, the defensive lineman fell down. Now, he had an angle because Bryce was trying to make somebody else miss, but his effort and the way he knocked that ball was the big league. I think 95 is better than 99.
Yeah, they both can ball, man. I have to agree with you there. They definitely can play.
That was the 67-yard touchdown pass that we were talking about earlier there to Jameson.
And it kind of shook Georgia up.
Yeah.
I think that's what's – see, I think this game's more psychological too. Here's Stetson Bennett. He's thrown 5 interceptions against Alabama. He's struggled at times. If Alabama can get a lead, I think then everybody, the whole team gets to saying all the people talked about they got the wrong quarterback playing, this or that. When the defense gave up 550 yards, I don't know. You've watched more film than probably I and understand it more. Georgia's secondary is not as good, in my opinion, looking at film, than Cincinnati. Their secondary is not as good. And that, to me, was their weak point coming into the year. They got some transfers and everything, and nobody's had time to throw.
The kid from Clemson.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't think Georgia's secondary are as good as the secondary we played, this past week. Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant, both were elite corners, man. I think, those guys are going to come off the board in the first 2 rounds. More than likely. Sauce didn't give up a touchdown in 3 years at cornerback. That's elite in a passing league. So definitely think they're better, more mature, and making less mistakes. But the way Georgia counteracts that is, like I said, bringing the pressure and ultimately trying to hit Bryce. But if you let him sit in the pocket, I think we have too much talent, and we're going to be able to make too many big plays if you allow him to get back there and be comfortable.
So does Georgia go 0?
I think you got to go 6-man pressure. I think you got to bring a lot of 5- and 6-man pressure in this game. I don't know if I would go completely 0 because if you miss a tackle, that's 6 points.
But that's what LSU did, right? That's what A&M. Did A&M do that?
I thought it was 0.
At times, it's a risky call. Just depends on where you are on the field and position and things of that nature. But I definitely think pressure to where it makes a lot more one-on-one matchup. Is what they're going to have to do in terms of their pressure. They don't have to bring more than we can block, but they got to bring enough to make our guys block one-on-one and see if they can win a matchup.
Rashad, growth-wise, what have you seen out of Alabama's secondary from Miami till now?
Yeah, man. Just communication-wise, I think they've gotten better. Obviously, we're playing some younger guys, so we've gotten some guys injured and things of that nature. But I think those guys have came in and played okay. But the biggest increase, like I said, I think is Jordan Battle. You're always looking at that secondary and you're trying to find who is the guy. When I was here, it was a lot of guys. Myself, Javier, Kareem. We had a lot of big time players. You're looking Mark Barron. Was the guy. Marlon Humphrey, the guy. You're looking to see who's going to be Landon Collins, and the guy, and you who's going to separate themselves. And I think Jordan Battle, midway through the season, the way that he was beginning to pressure the quarterback, the Mississippi State game, he got the pick six, getting his hands on the ball, became more of an influential leader, not only with his voice but with his play, the way he was coming downhill and being a lot more aggressive and setting the tone. So he's been a guy that has impressed me throughout this season, and from Miami to where he is now. Was voted a captain in a lot of the games. He's played like it.
He certainly has.
And listen, I think the defense obviously is the most improved during the year and really played so well at the end of the year, or Alabama's not in the position where they are. But I think all the safeties have stepped up their game. I mean,
yeah, no doubt. DeMarco Helms has played great.
Man, and I think and Daniel Wright. You go back and look at the play Daniel Wright made in both in the last two games.
Yeah,
I mean that was a touchdown 19 had for Georgia, right? He knocked him and number 2 made one of the best plays I've seen. They knocked it out of his hands. Yeah, I mean a perfect throw beats perfect coverage unless you got guys that make plays.
No doubt about it. I agree. And he definitely deserves that credit. A guy, that's, if I'm not mistaken, the 5th or 6th year back because of the COVID year. Yeah. Took that opportunity to come back and help his team. Knew he wasn't going to be a starter either. He could have easily went on and, lived life and did some other things. And he's reaping the rewards of it, man. Tremendous athlete.
Rashad, safe travels here to
Slippery Nipple. No, that's a drink.
Safe travels here to Indianapolis is what I was going to say. Right? But we always appreciate the insight, and we look forward to hearing you tomorrow night right here over these airwaves, sir.
Yeah, come by. We'll give you a glass of water.
Thank you. Thank you, Rashad.
It's on us.
All right.
This is Rashad Johnson from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We are indeed at the Slippery Noodle Inn here in downtown Indianapolis.
Drink out of this, right? Later.
Yeah, they have a good beer. He's had a beer.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do that, Steve.
I don't have one right now. Do you want one? That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. We'll open it up to your phone calls.
I need to order some food.
we'll be right back.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Looking for a great deal? Well, I've got one for you. Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. And at Valley Equipment, if you rent after 3 on a Friday or on a Saturday morning, you're not due back until Monday morning. So basically, you're getting the entire weekend for the price of one day. And if you're in the service or are a vet, they'll knock another 10% off. Valley Equipment is locally owned and involved in our community through charities and even supporting local teams. And soon they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. Stay tuned for info on where that will be and when it will open.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here.
Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating. So you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does. And they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Hometown Lenders was founded right here in North Alabama on old school principles. We like to call them the 4 Ps. The best products, the best processes, competitive pricing, and of course, the best people. It's why we're one of America's fastest growing mortgage lenders. We're now adding a 5th P, the hometown promise. If we don't close on time, you don't pay a dime. Yes, you heard that right. On time, every time, or we refund 100% of our fees.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
A big thank you to all of our sponsors. Woody Anderson Ford, home of the 5-star experience. Ann Adams, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Bob Wallace Appliance, Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and Chapman Commercial Realty are proud sponsors of the drive here on the road in Indianapolis as we are here at the Slippery Noodle Inn, where they have live blues, and it's just we're in the game room here, and this is just a cool venue if you happen to be coming up here this weekend or even on Monday if you're doing the quick turnaround. We are directly across the street from Lucas Oil in a cool venue here in Indianapolis here at the Slippery Noodle Inn. 256-576-4977. We've heard from Tony Barnhart. We've heard from Rashad Johnson. Wes, let's talk more about your reactions as we're now here up in this venue, and we're almost there Monday, right around the corner.
Well, I mean, it's hard to win the second one. That's what I've been saying. I think it helps Alabama's underdog, though. I think that, but Georgia has had the better season, except for the Alabama game, and Alabama destroyed them.
Yep,
really.
Yep.
They really picked them apart on defense. The offense played well enough to win, in my opinion, except for the 2 interceptions. But so it really comes down to if Alabama's defense can play like they have been, and they can protect Bryce, I think Alabama wins the game. But you go through history, and it's never happened before. I think that's what Vegas is thinking. and they're trying to get you to bet on Alabama. But Alabama has Nick Saban and a great staff and players that have really stepped up since the end of the year. So
the latest,
I just think it's going to be a very close game, which any team can win.
The latest news that just came down last hour, I don't know if you saw or listened to, was the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars have made it known that they are indeed interviewing two different individuals, Byron Leftwich being one of them, and then Bill O'Brien being the other.
Interesting. Bill O'Brien's the roommate of the last head coach before Urban Meyer right now. Yeah. Not surprising. And Bill O'Brien is not going to be there for long. He's a great football coach.
We've mentioned quite a bit about the digs here at the Slippery Noodle Inn. How are you, sir?
Boys, how y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great.
Thank you so much for all the hospitality, and this has been fun to kind of skate in.
Well, like I say, I appreciate y'all, and I mean, this is the first time Indianapolis has hosted the BCS, so we're flying blind right now. We don't know what to expect.
We know this is a professional market, so you're used to big events like the Super Bowl.
We and that's one thing that back in the '80s when Bill Hudnut was the mayor here, he set up downtown Indianapolis for big events like that. I mean, when the Super Bowl was in Dallas, they did it in 3 cities. When it was in Miami Beach, it's 7 miles long.
Yep.
We did the Super Bowl in 28 square blocks. It was the most densely populated Super Bowl ever.
Well, I think that's what it'll be, something similar.
I'm certainly looking forward to it.
It's just taking everybody a little longer to get here. Because of
we got to warm up first.
South Kentucky and Tennessee is a little rough.
And I'm just a little tidbits about the Slippery Noodle. You guys are sitting in the oldest continually operating bar in the state of Indiana. The front doors opened in 1850, and other than 5 months in 2020, they have never shut down. Even during Prohibition, there were stills in the basement. And I know y'all have been around a still. It was the worst kept secret in the world. They could smell that from a mile away.
Yeah, that's the truth.
We're on our 3rd generation of owners. The Yegi family bought the place in 1963. Harold, the father, bought it. It went to his son, Hal. And now it's on to Hal's wife and his 2 sons work here. We do live music, we used to do it 7 nights a week. We do it every night. We're open, live music. And this weekend, we have a big tent out in the parking lot that is heated, and we're doing bands out there, and we're doing 2 bands every night inside, and it's going to be a soiree.
We're looking forward to it.
So
there are a lot of people listening that are about to, that are on their way up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So he's wanting a recommendation of what's your go-to meal here?
Well, I was an offensive lineman also.
There you go.
I'm gonna just say,
salt of the earth.
We are. We're much smarter than those guys on the defensive side of the ball.
My dad used to say that the difference between the offense and defensive lineman is offensive lineman can count to 3.
Well, and we don't lick windows or eat paste.
Yeah.
We've got this burger here called the Vegas Burger. It is a 1/3 pound of Angus beef, and we cover it with shredded pot roast.
That's a done deal there.
It's nothing but blood, sweat, and barbecue sauce.
There you go.
You're gonna go hard or stay at home.
That's awesome. That's
our nachos. We actually
they were talking about that.
They're enough for 2 people to share, and it's real cheese. It's not that canned cheese, even though I've had people yell at me about that. And in Indiana, our signature food in Indiana is a breaded tenderloin.
We got a Midwestern guy. As soon as he saw the tenderloin,
because this isn't a visual aspect here, folks. When I said breaded tenderloin, everybody talking all pointed.
Oh yeah,
Scott over there in the corner.
Yeah, no, he's been talking about the tenderloin ever since he.
Yeah, no,
stepped in.
You take a pork cutlet and you pound it out, bread it, deep fry it, and then throw everything on it.
Man,
and somehow he stays that skinny.
I know, it's unbelievable. Guy can eat.
Well, it's nice that he could wear his jammies into my bar.
Travel day.
Yeah.
I'll at least say that.
Yeah, that's.
How long have you been here?
I hope Mike's
dear God, this is. I started here in 1991 as a bouncer.
Really?
and made it into management, probably 97, 98, and have been here ever since, other than 3 years when my, at that time, wife said we were moving to California. She's now an ex-wife. We don't need to go into that.
I take it she's still in California.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yeah. I got rid of the wife. I kept the bar.
Good choice.
I know, just something that, you know, when I walked in these doors, I was a history nerd in college. And when I walked in these doors and, you know, the bar, the front section of the bar, people were drinking at that very bar 13 years before Thanksgiving was a national holiday.
That's crazy.
I mean, in the back room used to be the stables for the inn. And during the Depression, John Dillinger and his gang and Al Brady and his gang hid out back there. And there's still bullet holes in the wall from where they had target practice.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
I mean, upstairs during the Depression, they would rent rooms out to travelers. And during the Depression, about half those rooms opened up as a brothel because that was the cable TV of the time. The city. Yeah, let's see you push the beat button on that.
No, you're good.
But
you're good.
The city, the whorehouse was open, if I can say that on the radio, until 1953. Two guys got in a fight over one of the girls. One guy stabbed the other one, killed him up there, left a knife sticking out of the front bars. He ran out. I mean, just the stories about this place.
It's been open a long time.
It's been, and we are haunted. I've seen the ghost in the basement twice and the one upstairs a couple times. And I've spent the night in here probably 15, 20 times with different paranormal groups. There's not a week that goes by when I'm the last one in here. I don't hear footsteps or doors slamming. It just, I mean, this is not some plastic, just popped up strip mall bar. This
no, it isn't. I told her when I got it here, this is a good choice.
This is cool.
Yes, it's
beautiful. This is the Bear Bryant of bars, right?
There you go. You gotta like it.
Well, we certainly appreciate the hospitality, the Southern hospitality here in Indiana.
You know, I grew up in Northwest Indiana on a farm, and my grandpa immigrated from the fatherland, which we call Kentucky. But I thank you, gentlemen, for your time. And like I say, I hope we can do this more often. I'm enjoying it, and I just hope it's a good game.
Well, it'll be a good game. It is the 33rd and 34th NFL team playing tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much everybody on both sides of the ball will end up playing in NFL or on it'll be on a.
It's a good
roster.
scouting.
Well, and much to my chagrin, I learned the hard way that you never really want to bet against a Saban team.
No.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Well,
Especially
you
their
certainly
underdog,
know another Alabamian, Philip Rivers, who's now a head coach down in the Mobile area and played a time or two across the street.
Yeah, we were actually wondering if the Colts were going to try and reactivate Philip a couple weeks ago with everything going on.
Everybody was trying to. So is New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the world we live in now.
Yes,
you know?
it's a different world now.
Yeah, I mean, we throw the playbook out and we're making this stuff up as we go.
That's right.
So are you at all a college football fan?
I'm a Boilermaker.
Gotcha.
I'm a Boilermaker, and the only
so
thing
you're a Drew Brees guy.
Bob Greasy.
I've seen him play many times. Bob Greasy, yeah. I mean, Kyle Orton. I mean, Mike Allstott, the A Train.
Yep.
Greatest fullback since Larry Zonka. But yeah, no, and the only thing I can say about the Music City Bowl is thank goodness the referees blew that play dead before that kid stuck the ball over the fence. I mean, I've had referees break my heart so many times with Purdue. Finally, they owed me one.
Well,
like I say, when Purdue was #1 in basketball earlier this year, that was the greatest 96 hours of my life.
It's been a hard 17, 18 years to be a Tennessee Vol football fan.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations on the Music City Bowl win.
Thank you, guys. Have fun, y'all.
Appreciate it. We're
going to have you might have a weekly
a weekly set
on our
We are indeed here at the Slippery Noodle Inn here in downtown Indianapolis. Mark in Gulf Shores is up next. I imagine it's a little warmer down there. How are you, Mark?
Doing well, yes. 61 right now. So it's not too bad.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Wes, are you in Indy?
I am. I made it. I was a little bit behind them, but I'm telling you, they were dropping semis out of the skies and turning them sideways. I literally had one wreck right in front of me that went on the side, and then came off of the didn't pull it over.
The trailer detached from the cab. The cab,
and I drove between them. So, so I didn't really lose any at that time, but there were wrecks all over. And there were some really bad wrecks. It was really icy between Nashville and about 3/4 away from Kentucky. And then it wasn't bad after that.
No.
But there were two really bad wrecks. And
what's that?
You couldn't get a plane from Atlanta?
Last time I flew out of Huntsville, the plane never took off. So it's only 6 hours. It was until the snow. It was only 6 hours. It's only 6 hours, 5 under 6 really.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for the ice, and it's not a bad drive. It's like going to the beach from Huntsville.
Yeah.
Except there's a lot of ice.
Yeah, it's not 61 degrees at the moment.
Yeah. It's 12 outside.
Hey, I just had 2 quick questions. I kind of asked this yesterday a little. I got Steve here that's going to kind of help me too. The ticket's expensive for this game. Just face value. Wes brought that up. You got it. It's the wealthy, the elite that go. It's almost like an NFL game. Your average Joe's not going. Middle class is not going. And so, therefore, is Georgia going to bring more fans?
I think there's
Alabama
no question.
team?
No question.
Do you?
Yes.
Both of y'all agree with that?
Yes.
I did see more Georgia license plates than Alabama on the way up today.
This is only their second time. Alabama, Coach Saban's like to broke all us.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is Alabama still? Are we still Does the whole? I'm a Bama fan. Wes is a Bama fan. Steve's not. But it's they're important. You don't. I guess
it's wrong.
We've just been
the face value of these tickets is wrong. There's no question.
What is the face value of these tickets?
The end zone tickets are $550.
Woo!
End zone tickets, that's the face. That's not Scout.
Yeah,
that's what they're charging Tide Pride people. And lower end zone are $750, and it gets it's ludicrous. I mean,
but will it be? Is it a sellout?
I mean, there are a lot of tickets. I'm sure they sold them.
I
all.
have read where it is a sellout, but I'm sure you can go onto your handy dandy website.
Yeah, but tickets now, the resale value of the tickets when I looked last were down to $420. So people have already started taking losses. This happened in California too.
Oh, California!
And then
they took it back.
Yeah, no, but at the end of the thing, they sold it out. And the prices went up on the
remember
very
in California, I saw people walking in handing people tickets because they couldn't get the money back.
Well, you couldn't buy them online. It wasn't
filled up in California.
Yes, it was. It was filled up. I was there.
I was there too.
Oh, it was filled up.
It was not.
It was absolutely filled.
Yeah,
but it was just late because you get into the game, you got to walk 2 miles.
I saw the upper corners, and they were never filled up in the upper deck. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Oh, you're not talking about Pasadena.
No,
we're talking about
a Levi Stadium where the 49ers play.
Oh, yeah, I was just, and so really, I guess get real quick to my next question. Last one is, when you look at these two teams in terms of, who's the favorite and all that, I was trying to go back to what Wes said yesterday. He's kind of worried about history, and history is important because it repeats itself a lot of times. But the only one that I've seen, unless y'all can correct me, because it's always Alabama seems to be in these games, and then maybe Ohio State, Clemson. So the only one that we all know of is LSU. They beat Alabama 9-6. Alabama beat them 21-0 in the Sugar Bowl.
Florida State.
So I'd like to know.
Yep.
The Sugar Bowl.
I mean, but the sample size, Wes, is it enough to really bring it up?
It's been six times that I know of. I don't know a game that was close though. That's the thing. That's the other thing. I don't know a game that was close the second time.
Yeah.
Now, I think that in both of those games that I'm referencing, that I remember watching, the best quarterback played for the teams that won the second time. And, that's what I remember. And, Alabama the first time missed 5 field goals, really should have won the game. They played well enough to win the game. Remember the interception on the goal line, a great play by LSU. Right. LSU won the game and was undefeated. Florida State was undefeated, beat Florida at Florida State. So, and then came back and won. Those are the only two that I remember, but there are others in this. And so when Georgia came out favored by just a little bit after Alabama just beat them, it's like Vegas wants you to bet on Alabama. I mean, who's not going to bet Nick Saban and take the points? And I think the reason they're doing that is history. And listen, Georgia looked awesome against Michigan. But Michigan is, very vanilla on defense, very vanilla offense. And, they to me, if I knew that when I saw Coach Harbaugh come out and said, we're going to play Wolverine football, like that was, I knew they were going to get beat. I mean, to me,
that's team style in football.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's no way they're going to win because they're outmanned.
Yep.
Well, hey, Steve, last question. I'll hang up. Psychologically, I know as a Georgia fan, you're excited because of what Wes is saying, all the stats and this, that, and the other. But what role will the psyche of the Georgia player be in that they got it handed to them not even a month ago?
That makes me really believe that the start of this game is pivotal, especially the psyche that you mentioned there.
I think that for Georgia it is.
Yeah, that's what he was asking me. Yeah. I think it's very important to get off to a good start before you start to think about, oh boy, here we go again type of thought in the back of your head. Let's take our final time out. Chris, if you hang with us, we'll close things out with you on the other side as we are live here at the Slippery Noodle Inn.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well-trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Everybody knows the fun begins when you get to the end zone, where you can enjoy half-price apps every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Half-price burgers every Tuesday, plus late-night pizza specials and a spectacular menu that includes jumbo wings, half-pound burgers, Tex-Mex, and an incredible selection of craft beers. And plenty of big-screen TVs. It's all happening at the end zone, 1851 University Drive, 2030 Cecil Ashburn at Jones Valley Station. And coming in early 2022, Mid-City End Zone at 1115 McMurtry next to the Target Shopping Center.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Walt Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them.
They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Two maids and a mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubbies Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-free meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue.
Hey, Smokey Mike.
Drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South.
You got me?
Diner, home of the donut burger.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name
You
to
there,
know if
Mike?
you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
It's Alabama and Georgia for the national championship.
I think it's pretty obvious that you're very, very proud of
Smokey.
our team.
Listen to all the coverage and game right here.
Hopefully we play well enough to beat a great Bama team.
On 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl.
Winding things down here, it is day one up here in Indianapolis. A big thank you to Marty Bacon, the general manager here of the Slippery Noodle Inn. Good food, plus blues as well. And but which headset are you putting on now? So let's try the one that was in front of you.
It's actually behind your computer. But yeah, Slippery Noodle Inn. I didn't know it was haunted. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on the National Register of Historic Places. That's pretty cool.
It is.
I was in a hurry because got held up, but it was just the atmosphere is awesome.
Let's talk to Chris on line 2. What do you say, Chris? How are you?
Good, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Chris Anderson here.
Hey. How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I was thinking about those tickets, Wes. They sent them to me. I called down the university and I said, what's the price? Well, you just got to put in and it might be $450 or it might be $950. I said, well, no, I'm good then. I mean, You don't even give you it depends on when you let it. I said, this is crazy. I said, I'm gonna give you a blank check. Send me 2 tickets. It might be $1,000 each, or there might be $500 each. It's just,
Well, everybody got tickets that normally don't get tickets, and that's why, because of the. I don't think it's just the price; it's the weather. It's a lot of things, different things.
Oh, yeah. It's not a destination. I don't want to go there. I could care less. I don't want to see the snow here, let alone those drive to it and see it.
Yeah.
Here's my take on this game. Okay, I know we're running out of time.
No, you're good. You're good.
But what you need to understand is who's got the best defensive line as far as stats go.
Oh, Georgia.
Who's got as far as stuff talking about sacks?
Sacks.
Sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions, you name it, it's on Bama's side. This is not going to be a close game. It's going to be just like the last one. And you heard it here first.
I like it.
I'm telling you, man, this is ridiculous. These people on TV, I just get so frustrated listening to these clowns say the dumbest stuff. And I get fired. I'm ready to play. If you think I'm ready to play, we think those players are feeling. And I'm 50 now. So, there you go.
Well, Chris, I think Alabama's defense, and I brought that up earlier, I'm not sure they aren't better overall than Georgia. It's just beating a team twice. It's something to it. So we'll see if they can do it.
Well, go player for player, and then tell me what you think. Compares just quarterbacks alone, we're 10 times higher than they are. With JT or Stetson Bennett the third.
If JT was the best, if
that's fantastic.
If JT was better, he'd be playing. And I don't know why people think that, but it's an excuse is what it was. It was an excuse for all of them because.
And it's gonna be.
And hopefully it'll be an excuse again. I hope he comes in. That'll be a good sign.
I do too. We'll get more picks. That's the way it is. I'm telling you.
He can't move.
We're going to win this game like we won the last game. The players ain't changed. Michigan is terrible. I hate to, Michigan, Dan, I hate to say that, bro. That team is terrible. I mean, they didn't do that. What's the dude went to this?
Man, I'm not talking bad about Michigan tonight because Wolverine Dan brought me some Gumpy yesterday.
Debbie, really?
He always awesome.
But they're not a good team, and that's good. They got the confidence back, but we're gonna knock them back down there come Monday evening. So,
well, we heard it here first.
Anyway, guys, hey, y'all have a good trip. Be safe. That's why I'm not going to ice, snow, all that stuff. I hate it. So I'm out.
Yeah, I wish it was Miami myself again.
Yeah, that was nice last year.
No question.
There was.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for calling in. That was really nice last year, wasn't it?
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, this is a cool place. So I'm happy we're here.
It is. Yes, of course. But, that was pretty cool last year, wasn't it? Tennessee Jeff is on line 1. What do you say, Tennessee Jeff?
Hey, brother. You hear me?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
That guy, he was that former bouncer, manager, owner, whatever.
Marty Bacon. Marty Bacon.
Marty, he made me feel a little better about that.
Did he?
I read somewhere if you lined up the 5 most official controversial games in college football this year, Tennessee has been in 4 of them. That's not my stat.
I saw one, and that was the one we were talking about.
Unbelievable.
It was
I think
awful.
the Ole Miss game was actually worse, and the absolute worst call was in the Pitt game, the spot. But Tennessee had 3 plays in 3 games, cost them 3 losses. But they had a great year, and like I say, that guy made me feel a whole lot better. I've thought all along that this thing got set up, that Alabama had the best quarterback, and Georgia's weakness was secondary. But this beaten, 0 for 6. Saban's broken all the rules, and he's
Does he do something nobody's ever done before? I think it's possible.
if
There's no
anybody's
doubt.
going to do it, it's Saban. But if the Bulldogs do come through, as much as I dislike them, I'll feel good for Steve.
I appreciate that, Jeff.
I absolutely will. But I'm looking forward to a great game, and it's just outstanding the year to end up this way.
Yep, it really is. Appreciate the phone call, sir.
Appreciate y'all. Bye.
That is Tennessee Jeff as we wind things down from a statistical standpoint, and we know statistics are for losers.
There's no question about that.
Statistically speaking, Georgia has intercepted 14 passes this year. Alabama has intercepted 15 passes this year. The opponent third down conversion ratio this year, Georgia's for the opponents is 34%. That ranks 29th in the NCAA, 4th in the SEC. Alabama's opponent for third down conversion ratio, 30%. That is first in the SEC and 7th overall in the NCAA.
Well, Will Anderson has more sacks than most teams. That's what I do know.
That'll wrap us up here. Day 1. We will talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.